wish that you would have said period. Like it's
like
a little
an
echo.
I can do that now. After the song plays, I can just right here.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes, I love that. I would love if you did that from now on for each episode.
I got it.
Done. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the Mom Circle.
What's going on?
Today it's going to be a really heavy topic, but before we get into our heavy topic, let me just tell you what it's about.
Yes.
It's about raising black boys in America. We both have black boys.
Yes, we do.
We are in this country that just sees our children as threats automatically. But before we dive into all of that, you know what time it is? Situations.
Okay, so today's situation
I love it.
Comes from a grandmother, an anonymous grandmother. But she writes, "Hey y'all, I'm actually a grandma and actually old enough to be your mothers. Hey Grammy.
Hey honey.
And I still wanted to share the situation with you because I feel like other grandmothers can relate. I'm in a situation where I try to give advice to my granddaughter, who is a young mother, because hello, been there, done that. But she's so defensive every time I try to help. I'm not trying to take her spot as a parent, but only trying to help because I know how hard it is being a first-time mother. Hopefully one day we can get into a place where we understand each other and she knows that I'm only trying to help."
That's a good situation.
It is, because sometimes as new mothers, we are just defensive off top.
Yeah.
When somebody is trying to critique or tell us something about what we're doing with our kids or what we should do, what we need to do, what we're not doing right. And we could be just it's a very sensitive.
It is very sensitive.
And I think that, I don't know how Miss Grandma here is. I don't know her name. She just said I'm grandma. So I don't know how Grammy is approaching her. But that I think is a big...
It plays a part.
Yeah, I think it plays a huge part, especially with grandmothers. They were raised in a different era, and they seem to... I don't want to speak on her, but I'll speak on my mom. She seems to sometimes come off as, like, pushy a little bit, like what you need to do. You know what I mean? This what you gotta do. You have to do this, this, that, and the other. And sometimes I don't really take well to that. So I think that maybe, Grammy, you should, if you're not, maybe change the approach. Change the approach, especially if it's something that you really feel like is going to be super helpful for her. You know what I mean? Because you guys have all the wisdom in the world. We're new at this. We don't know. We learn by trial and error.
Right.
So if it's something that you feel like she really needs to know, maybe change your approach. Maybe talk to her and ask her how she feels about it and what's the best way to go about it, because you are just trying to help her, and then see how that goes. But honestly, I don't know. That's really a touchy topic.
Well, so I agree. It is all about the approach you take with someone, and your wording that you choose.
Yeah,
because you can say you can be trying to tell me that say something is going on with my kid and he's sick, and to help him get better, he needs to take this certain juice or vitamin or whatever.
Yeah,
you can say, hey, so when such and such was sick, I tried this and it worked. So maybe you can try it if you want. You know. Instead of like, hey, you need to give them some blah, 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 because that's not going to be received the same way as, you know, you got to choose your wording.
Right.
Because and remember that you were once there before.
Right.
You know, all mothers were in that beginning stage of, you know, this is my first time and I want to feel like I can do it without anybody's help. I want to feel like I got this. Right. You know, I don't want to seem like I can't handle my responsibility as a mother. Yeah. So it's hard to ask for help in the first place, right? So when someone is trying to force it upon you, it may not be received well. Now, that may not be your intention, right? But being in that position as a first time mom, may be taken that way. You know what I'm saying? Right. So just like you said, it's all about your approach. Because we know our Grammys are just trying to help. Right, we know they are doing it out of love. Right. It's not with any malice or anything like that. So And it's just also, we have to look inwards too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like we always be like, you know, well, you shouldn't have said it like this, or you shouldn't. We have to look inward and be like, hey, let me just take a step back. They're not trying to tell me what to do. Right. You know, they're trying to help me. Their approach may be different. Uh-huh. What they did back in the day was definitely different. Right. We're in 2021. Right. But, you know, at the end of the day, we just need to remember, hey, that's my grandmother. She loves me. Yeah. She's just trying to help.
And just remember who it's coming from. Obviously, you know this person. Like, I know my mom. Yeah. Right? So sometimes my sisters, they get mad because my mom, and I'll be like, well, that's just mom. Right. You know she's not trying to hurt you. This is how she is. That's just how she is. Mm-hmm. But I think that grandmothers and mothers and other people that are trying to give us or trying to help, mm-hmm. I think that you should understand that as a new mom, whenever people are trying to help us all the time, we start to feel like we're not doing a good job.
Yes.
And mm-hmm. who wants to feel like they're not doing a good job at being somebody's parent?
Right.
So it kind of, I think that's the main reason why we get so defensive, because by somebody trying to tell us how we should do something
all the time.
It
mm-hmm.
just kind of feels like, dang,
do I not know what I'm doing?
You know,
right.
I'm right now.
You make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Like I suck right now.
And then that's when the defensiveness starts. Like, I think so. Hey, I got it.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
I don't need that.
Yeah. So, grandma, just maybe change your approach. Mm-hmm. Maybe come at her a different way.
Yeah. And it's all about communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Let her
use
know
your words wisely. You know your granddaughter and mm-hmm. what makes her mad and stuff like that. So just kind of.
And let her know. Have a conversation. Say, you know, let her know that you're not trying to take her space or tell her what to do, and you're just trying to help because been there, done that. Like you said, you know, you're new to this. You're true to this. Okay. So it's all about communication at the end of the day.
I just want to say this real quick. It has nothing to do with nothing. But if y'all see me just kind of looking like this, it's a gnat flying around here somewhere. And if I just randomly go like this in the middle of the episode, then that's
what it is.
Okay,
so you're not crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to have to excuse myself and get some wipes because, bruh, I keep on seeing it and I feel like I look crazy.
It's because you smell sweet. You smell sweet, and they want some of those juices.
Wow, that was really nice.
That's what it is.
All right.
Okay, let's get into the topic. So I just want to, give you an overview of what we're discussing. We're discussing our Black boys being threats. You know, when they're young and they're, you know, like in their 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, you know, before they get to the teens age. Oh, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's so adorable. But soon as he hit that 11-year-old, 12-year-old phase, oh, now he's a threat. That's crazy to me. My kid could go to the same school as another race. He can go to the same school as a white kid. He can go get the same grades as a white kid. He can, you know, we can have the same status as far as financials as families, and he's still looked at as a threat. He gets straight A's. His behavior is on point, and he's still looked at as a threat. Mm-hmm. That is mind-blowing to me. That is mind-blowing.
Yeah. You know, this is going to be a good conversation because I'm on both sides.
Yes.
Right? Being an officer.
Yes.
And raising Black boys.
Right.
So I'm on both sides. So a lot of times these social media puts out these videos mm-hmm. and all this stuff about, you know, an officer killed another Black kid, an mm-hmm. officer did this, or an officer's doing this, that, and the third. And a lot of times I watch it and there's no excuse, mm-hmm. right? Because we all have trained. Right. We all have training.
Right,
you know what I mean? So almost every video that I've seen mm-hmm. has been unacceptable. Mm-hmm. Unacceptable. Termination off top.
Right.
There should be no investigation. It's very clear.
Why we gotta
and it doesn't matter what the backstory was.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people was like, well, what was he doing? It don't matter what
mm-hmm.
the backstory was. That clip that we just saw was enough to determine that this person needs to be charged, you know,
right.
and held accountable for his actions. We witnessed
it, right? What else do you need to see?
Yeah, so but this is a touchy topic because mm-hmm. a lot of my friends that don't work in the department or don't, they just grew up being black like the rest of us. They don't get really to see
both sides.
Yeah, so they have these conversations, and sometimes they look at me crazy because I'm not defending any officer that kills anybody. Because you don't have to. There's so many other options things you can use. But when I start like having the conversations, people start looking at me crazy, and it's just like, I don't know. It is
complicated.
It's tough, but me having a black boy being in the department or not, the officers rolling down the street pulling my son over don't know that I'm an officer.
Right, exactly.
They just see a black boy. Exactly. So it don't matter what I do, what he does. He's a black boy being raised in America.
Yes, ma'am.
Automatically a threat. So.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But it's good to get your perspective. Okay, so there is this movie, right? It's called The Hate You Give.
I read the book.
Girl!
I read the book before I watched the movie.
First of all, freaking amazing. If you have not seen it, I recommend...
Angie Thomas.
I recommend you reading the book or watching the movie. It was really amazing. Just like a quick overview.
Yes.
There's a young girl. Her name is Star, I think. She's a teenager. She lives in a black community, but she goes to a white school, right?
That's literally the life I live. That's crazy. That's
and she was at this party, and her friend, who's a black male, he was driving her home. He got pulled over because he didn't do like a signal. He didn't use his signal when he was changing lanes, right? So the officer asked him to step out the car. So he went to go to the police officer went to his car to run his plates. And while the police officer was there, the guy reached into the car to talk to the girl, and he grabbed his brush and was brushing his hair, and the officer shot him because he thought he had a weapon. And so the little boy died. But basically it's about, so in the movie they were also talking about this Tupac song. What's the name of the Tupac song? Thug Life. I think it was just Thug Life.
Because it's the hate you give little infants.
Right.
Fucks or something like
that. Fucks everybody.
Yeah,
the hate you give little infants fucks everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a really true statement because a lot of the time I feel like racism is a learned behavior.
Oh, 100%.
It's a learned behavior.
100%.
Kids don't just, they're not born like, hey, I don't like that black boy right there. No, 100%. That is taught. That is passed down generation to generation.
Yeah, 100%.
And so it's like, the way you're raising them at this young age is what they're going to be. Like, they see you doing this. They want to be, you're their role model. So you're inputting all of this evil into this little kid, and he's going to grow up and do the same thing to his children. And it's just going to be passed down.
That's what happens.
And that's why the cycle is not breaking, which is crazy to me.
It starts at home.
Yes, exactly. So that is the reason. All of this is the reason why when I found out I was having a boy, immediate breakdown, because I was scared. How am I going to protect him in this world where people feel like he's the dangerous one when he's just minding his fucking business?
Yeah.
A lot of time when black people are wrongfully killed by officers, I feel like it's so unjust. Like, there's other things, like you said, there's other things you can do. You're not being attacked. A lot of the videos, like you said, we watch on social media, the officers are not being attacked. A lot of times, they're just, the person that got killed is sitting in the car or walking down the street
or laying
in their bed.
Yeah.
And you're just opening fire. That's just so, I don't understand what is the explanation for it? There is none. How can you defend that? How can we keep having trials trying to figure out if the person is wrong or not? Maybe we saw it in the clip. And so how do we protect our young boys? How do we teach them how to go throughout this life in a way? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Oh.
I'm sorry. It just gets me so emotional because I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a phone call.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a phone call saying my son was killed.
Right.
How do we teach them to go about life, making the right choices so that they don't end up in a coffin? like, of course we're raising respectable kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not raising our kids to be in gangs and, you know, be wild and thieves and all this other stuff. We're raising good boys. But we can still do all that. We can still say, hey, when an officer pulls you over, you comply. You don't be combative. You stand in you be respectful. You do what they say.
Yeah.
But even after me telling you to do all of that,
and you do it,
it's
still a possibility that.
So, and it's so crazy because we have to live with those thoughts and that anxiety. But white people don't have to do that.
No, they don't.
There's so many videos I see on Instagram where a white guy is wrestling with the police officer.
To get the gun.
They have a gun in their front seat, like, hey, you know, like, you can't come in my car, you can't arrest me, you can't pull me over, drive off.
Yeah.
A black person would have been killed right then and there.
Oh, yeah, off top.
But they don't have to deal with that trauma.
No.
They don't have to deal with constantly seeing another news report about this happening over and over again. And it's crazy to me. It's scary. And that really drives my anxiety up.
I think, honestly, so it is very scary. It is very, very scary. And I think this is why a lot of us moms and black parents in general try our darnest to make the situation a little better so the opportunity of being killed by police is lower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you work a really good job, you can afford to live in a nice neighborhood where police ain't just roaming. You know what I mean? So maybe do that. Maybe put them in a school where, you know what I mean? Put them in surroundings and stuff. Get them in sports. Get them into something to where it can lessen the interaction. Because that's all we could do is try to lessen the interaction that they have with police officers. You know what I mean? The less we see them, the safer we are.
Right.
The safer we are. If we grow up in the hood and stuff, we see him all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anything can happen all the time. But the less we see him, I feel like the safer we are.
But you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you
fine.
off. But a lot of the time, the cops wouldn't even come if someone of the opposite race wasn't calling the police on something that has nothing to do with them. Yeah. There was a video of a black teenager walking down the street in his community where he lived, his neighborhood, and this white guy called the cops on him. Sir, I live here. Telling him he's not supposed to be there. He don't need to be there. I live here. My parents pay to stay here. How are you going to tell me where I can be?
And at the end of the day, even if he does not live there, where is there a sign that says, I can't walk down the street?
Right. Who are you to tell? The audacity. Who are you to tell me where I can be and when I can do it and when I can't? Mind your business.
Racism.
That's crazy.
That's racism. That's just racist.
For no reason.
White people just being racist. When they see a black person there, they automatically assume they up to no good. It's racist.
Right. And I'm not saying all people are racist.
No.
I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of them that are.
But I can tell you, I can confidently say this. If you call the cops on a black person that's walking down the street minding their business, I'm going to automatically state right here on the Mom Circle that you are a racist.
Because what was the reason? What was the reason?
No. What was the reason?
What was the reason? Like, a lot of times, I say this all the time, and I say it in a joking way because it's just so crazy to me, but I be so serious. If people just minded their business, worry about themselves and what they had going on, there would be so many less interactions, like or altercations, or where people are arguing or fighting, or just mind your business.
The murder rate would go down.
Why are you worried about anybody else that's not in your family, your friend circle? Why?
Or that's not bothering you. I could see if he was walking and chilling on your property,
right,
on your front yard, just chilling or walking back and forth in front of your house or something. Then maybe. But if you're just walking down the street.
And you telling me I don't belong here? Get out of here.
Racist.
Come on. But hate is definitely a learned behavior. I feel like the world will not get better. Racism will not get, it will not be, taken out. I wanted to say a different word, but it won't be removed unless we start teaching, or everyone teaches their kids, like, treat people with kindness. You know, they're humans just like you are. They're not beneath you just because their skin color is different. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time, I've had racial interactions. Like, we've all had racial interactions. But a lot of the time, the person that's trying to treat me less than, like I'm beneath them, they don't even know what I got going on. Like my husband Malik, says this all the time. Like, when people try to treat him like he's beneath them, he's like, sir, you don't even know what I do. Yeah. I probably make more money than you. And you treat me like I'm some broke ass, black person that's beneath you, that ain't never got nothing, ain't never gonna be nothing. Sir, that's not the case. You don't know me from a can of paint. Yeah. So you cannot just automatically treat people like crap. I feel like that's inhumane. I don't know.
It's just
this
it's
evil.
This topic is very sensitive and emotional and real life. Yeah. But me, like I said, I'm raising a black boy, my son. And it's crazy because, every time I hear about it or think about it, I do get sad. As far as all the stuff that's going on in the world. But the one thing that I do to protect my son, like everybody else, I try my best to raise him to be, a respectable being, somebody that knows how to interact with people, use your words, you know what I mean, all this good stuff. And then I stay prayed up. Yeah. I literally live by don't pray and worry. So because I pray over him all the time, I'm not worried about him when we go out on the street.
You're right.
You know what I mean? I pray over my son every single day. Yeah. We do every day. So I don't worry about it. Yeah. I don't worry about it because I truly believe that God is covering him. I truly believe that. I don't believe that I'm going to get a phone call one day. I don't believe that. Not saying that it could never happen, but I'm not about to start thinking that, or I don't walk in fear. I don't do none of that. So I raise my son to the best of my ability, and I pray over him, and I let him go, and I let God handle it. When I'm not around, what else can we do? When we're not around, what else can we do? Can't really do anything. We just pray over him and let him go, and pray that, he's protected, and, we won't have these issues. But a lot of people have these issues, as we see on a daily basis. You know what I mean? We couldn't even get the verdict without another one. So, I mean, it just happens every day, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and that one was just... Now this one with the 15-year-old girl, what's her name?
Oh, yeah, Micaiah.
I think her name was something Micaiah. Like that, Micaiah, the 15-year-old girl that got shot and killed.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I don't really...
I feel like that's... Yes, I feel like that's how you say it.
That one is just...
So, let me ask you this, because you are on both sides.
Okay.
If I can.
You can. Okay. Go ahead. I'm an open book.
If you were the officer and you rolled up on the scene like that, what would have been your... what would be the proper way to handle the situation?
So, in my opinion, the proper way would have been to stop the fight.
See, I was thinking that, and I'm like, do I have to be a cop to know that? Because I feel like that's common sense. Yeah. These are teenagers. They're not grown man.
They're not harming you, but we are trained to stop the threat. So say two inmates are fighting and one is stabbing the other, and they're not fighting back. I am obligated to shoot the mini fort. Like, I am obligated. That's my job, and if I do not, then I'm gonna get fired. If I do not try to my best to save that guy's life, then I'm going to get fired. So in that case, it opens up a lot, because I don't know what he could have thought. But me being black and seeing fights before, I wouldn't. It's
not like, let me automatically shoot.
I wouldn't have assumed that she was gonna kill this little girl with that knife. I wouldn't have assumed that. I would have started with a lower level to stop the threat, and then end it, if need be, with deadly force. Right. But we are trained to use deadly force in a situation. But see, no, because the other girl was fighting still. Yeah. So she was still defending herself. So it wasn't There was no need for deadly force. Let me just say that. There was no need for deadly force. I don't want people to be like, Amanda
she said, right?
He should have shot her. He did the right thing. I'm not saying that. There was absolutely no need for deadly force because they were both still fighting. The only time you need to use deadly force is if one cannot no longer defend themselves. If they can no longer defend themselves, if I'm stabbing you and you just out on the ground, I have to use deadly force. Because you are killing this person.
Right. But that makes sense.
But they were fighting. So to answer your question, I probably would have used some pepper spray or something.
Y'all got what? 10, pepper spray, taser.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, he could have did
so many.
He could have went in there by himself because
you're a grown man.
Yes, and they're not trying to kill you.
Right,
they're fighting each other.
Exactly.
So they're not trying to fight you. So he could have went in there himself. His presence alone as an officer would have probably de-escalated the situation. Right. Just knowing that police are here and we black, we not finna play with you.
Right.
We already know how you get down. Right. So give us a chance to see you so we can be like, oh.
Because that's what I was having a conversation with someone. They're like, why would she still be fighting if she saw the police was there? This girl was being jumped. Okay, she was probably in her own world just trying to defend herself. She probably didn't pay no attention to that cop rolling up.
Somebody told me, like, somebody was like, well, why would she come back outside with a gun? I was like, was she ever inside? Was she ever in the house?
I can't speak on that. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows? How you just going to say, why she come back outside? How you know she was ever inside? Right. She could have been outside the whole time. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
Exactly.
But she called for help. Right?
That's the thing that's killing me.
The one thing that the officer could have done was to identify
who called for help.
Someone named. I got a call from. I would have pulled up. Hey, chill! I got a call from who is what? Somebody on the outside watching that fight would have been like, "That's her. That's her." You know what I mean? Like he just came out,
rolled up, ready,
seen a knife and
boop boop.
You know what I mean? And I just think that's unnecessary.
And I'm gonna say this real quick because I want us to move on from the from this situation because it's too emotional. But when he got there, they had some time to, like, they were by him fighting. And then the girl got up and she went over to the other girl. And then she had, like, I saw the knife. So before she even got over there, you had time to break that fight up. Or use your taser or use pepper spray or something. You had time.
I feel like...
But I don't know.
I feel like a lot of officers are scaredy cats. A lot of them are pussy. And they shouldn't wear the uniform.
Right.
If you're scared,
if that's you. Why are you doing this?
You have to be able to use command presence first. If anything, without you saying nothing, command presence, which is just my appearance as an officer, should say something.
Like, okay, let me chill out.
Yeah,
let me chill the fuck out.
You know what I mean? Before I even open my mouth. Like, if I pull up on the scene... As an officer, my command presence should say something. If it does not, I'm using my verbal. Yeah. I'm saying something. Hey, you know what I mean? Whatever. If that does not work, then I'm going to pull out the pepper spray. Tell them to stop, whatever. I'm a pepper spray. If that does not work, you might have to go in hands on. No one is, like I said, there's no need for deadly force because they were still fighting.
Right.
He could have waited for backup, whatever, but I just think a lot of officers are scared, so they just trigger happy. They just oh my God,
right?
Oh, what'd you say? You know what I mean? Like what? Right?
What
you grabbing? It's like, bro. Oh, did you sneeze? Like, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, I chew. Right? Like, what the? I just think
I was getting
really
my wallet that you asked me for.
I think they're just really, really scared, and
that's not the job for you, baby.
It's not, but a lot of them are there, and then there's a lot of them that intentionally kill us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They never liked us in the first place.
Yeah, that traces back in the day, though. Like what the police was formed for in the beginning. Yeah. So that's deeper than that. But, okay, so I feel like moral of the story is, you do what you can to raise good, wholesome children, and you pray. And, I feel like I've been, seeking a therapist, but I'm going to have to go. It's something that I'm for sure going to have to go to therapy for because I just have anxiety over my kids, period. Like, literally this morning, putting the kids in the car. So my trunk, I press the button and it closes by itself. Well, Cameron decides to go try to grab something out the trunk as the trunk is closing down. So I had to be like, boy, come here. Like, yank him out. But the whole car ride, I'm like, oh, my God, what if his head would have got stuck in that trunk? Like, like, what if the trunk would have closed down on his head?
Yeah.
Because I literally had to yank. It was like this close. I had to yank him. Oh, so stuff like that sends me. It sends me. So I'm going to seek therapy for that. But I feel like my gem of the day would be to, do what you can as parents to provide your child with the proper tools needed to survive throughout life.
Yeah. We know what it is in America, so we raise them accordingly.
Yeah. It's sad because you then might have kids who feel like, well, I can't be myself. If I'm going to this school that's, filled with mostly white kids, I can't be who I truly am because if I try to be who I truly am,
that's how I was.
Then I'm going to be looked at as...
Yeah, I couldn't be me at my high school.
And that's the hate you give. That's that movie because that's how she felt. Like, I can't be myself here.
No.
But around my black friends, they feel like I'm acting too proper or white. Yeah. So who am I supposed to be?
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but like you said, just raise your kids the best you can. Pray over them. But I will say this. I think as an officer, I see a lot of these videos too where, interaction between black people and police officers are where we doing unnecessary stuff. Like, sir, just calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't give them reason.
Right.
Don't give
them
reason. You
already know what the situation is. Don't take it up another level.
Let's not give them reason. They're waiting for you to act like that.
Right.
They want that. They want that from us. Don't give them that. Don't give them that reason. Don't give them any opportunity to pull that trigger or to take you in. There's so many black people getting put in jail and sentences longer than for stupid little stuff. So we all want to pop off. I want to pop off at work all the time. Sometimes I do.
I popped off yesterday.
Yeah, we all want to pop off, but sometimes it's best, especially when they got the gun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just relax. Answer the questions respectfully.
So that you can get out of there safely.
And go home to your parents or your kids and your wife and your husband and stuff like that. So
that's what I think every time we get pulled over. Not every time. Malik be speed racing. So when we get pulled over, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Malik, just don't reach for nothing.
No.
Give them what they're asking you for so we can just go on and keep it pushing.
And before you even reach for them, explain where it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Can I see your license and registration?
Right.
Of course you can. I just want to let you know it's in the glove department. Would you like me to grab it or would you like to get it?
And I think that's essential to teach our kids.
Yeah, it's important. So being black, you have to. White
you
people
have to.
Could just
they don't have to
go
worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get this.
Here. Yeah, turn around.
Oh, wait, let me move my AK-47.
Yeah.
It's next to my...
Yeah. They have white privilege. Yeah. They have privilege. We don't.
So that's just what it is.
It's just America. It's what we live.
Yeah. And I will also say, though, because I feel like a lot of black people or just men may feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm getting bitched. I don't want to feel like I'm getting punked. It's good to know your rights. Yeah. It's good to know your rights for when you're getting pulled over because a lot of the time I hear stuff and I'm like, dang, I could have just said, well, I haven't been in that situation personally. Well, people could say this and they could just, the police officer would be like, okay, cool. Like, because sometimes they just trying to try stuff and you have rights, certain things they cannot do. Yeah. So it's important to know those rights. So I think it's also important to teach our kids those things too, so that they can.
Oh, 100%. But I'm going to be honest with you, knowing my rights, like I know them, I'll teach my son the same thing. But at the end of the day, if this white man asks you and he got a badge and a gun and he asks you to get out the car, whether he can or cannot get out the car, just get out the car.
It's like
just get out the car. Let him search whatever it is you got going on, but that just goes to show, don't be doing nothing you ain't got no business. Yeah, so let him search that car. And he ain't gonna find nothing, right?
Exactly. You're right. Don't be riding around with no cocaine and
exactly. So, you know what I mean? So, yes, know your rights, but don't
be doing nothing to get that will be getting you in trouble in the first place.
If a white officer asks Dominic, son, step out the car,
Step out the car.
Get your ass out that car. Get out the car and let him do. And even if he finds something, it's better that he finds something than to get your life taken from you.
Yes.
Let him find whatever you got in the car. We'll deal with that later. Mommy's gonna be successful. I'll get you out.
Right. I got this.
I'll get you out. Like, no. Just get out the car. So, yeah. Anyways,
okay.
I don't want to make this too much longer. Just pray over your kids. Raise them to the best of your ability. Try your best to surround them with, positive environments and teach them how to interact with everyone, including officers, being a black man growing up in these streets. And just let them go. And God got it. Trust and believe that God got it. God got you. Your son is covered. And you won't be a hashtag. Your son's not going to be a hashtag. And we just have to pray over each other and our families and keep it pushing.
Amen to that, sister. Amen to that. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. That was a really great episode. Dang, I didn't know I was going to let out the crocodile tears. But
I know. It's okay.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube and listen to us wherever you find your podcast. We will see you guys on the next episode.
See you later. Be safe.
And be safe.
Thank you for watching. Remember,